Good evening. Welcome to Crossover Sports Radio, welcoming you and others tonight to Excessive Celebration. Bill, we got a packed house tonight.
The gang is here.
That's right.
We're running daycare.
That's right. We have got the full crew. We've got our lead-in talent. We've got Sky Q for a segment or so, and then you get Billy and I. Hey.
Hey.
What an interesting weekend. We're in the Sky Q section. After this, we'll be talking about our next picks, why Skylar seems to be able to hang on to the lead through week 5. Young MADDOUX joining in the fun. Hey, MADDOUX.
Hi.
How you doing, buddy?
Bad.
So you're behind in the picks too? That's the way it goes. Well, Bill, it was an interesting weekend. I was feeling pretty good about things on Saturday night. I'd gone 5-0 on my college picks, and then you guys pretty much picked me apart. And I got to say something, Bill. That Lions call that you made, that was big time.
Something's different about the Lions this year. They've found themselves, for lack of a better term. They've played more like a team, and it seems like they've been more galvanized this year compared to most. Now, will it hold up over the long haul? I mean, they still got to play, the Chiefs coming up? So, I mean, there's some tough games ahead, and can they hold up in their conference? That conference right now is, 3-0 or something like that?
Yeah.
Outside games from out of their conference. So, the Lions could be a tough matchup and a tough problem for the rest of the league.
Yeah, I'll tell you, that division's tough, and in NFC West.
Yeah.
Seattle had a tough go with New Orleans, and I want to talk a little bit about that game and about the fact that Chris Carson's got to learn how to hang on to the football if he wants to be a viable option for them, and I think he should be, but not if you can't hang on to the ball. But yeah, Seattle's tough, San Francisco's tough, the Rams are tough.
He was giving him a reason to play C.J. Prosise for no real reason other than he couldn't hold on to the ball. Although some of those were decent hits, some of them he just lost them.
Yeah.
I mean, he just lost them. Teddy Bridgewater, solid backup.
Yeah, I was really impressed with how they didn't seem to alter a whole lot of what they do in that game. It was pretty fascinating to see how they were able to just kind of keep their game plan. Of course, when you got a guy like Kamara back there,
I was gonna say, it doesn't hurt to have a check down option in Alvin Kamara to be the we'll say he's the best running back in the league right now.
I'd have a hard time arguing the point.
His hands out of the backfield are Marshall Faulk-esque. His moves out of the backfield, I mean, who do you compare him to? I mean, he's elusive, he's fast.
He's also very powerful, though.
Yeah, you can't cover this guy.
Yeah, he is tough. So, interesting weekend. Locally, Oklahoma was idle. Oklahoma State went down and gave Texas a run, but in the end, in my opinion, the better team won that game. And then, Bill, I guess we can jump right into talking about some of the matchups or some of the ways some of these games went last weekend. What'd you think of the Georgia-Notre Dame game? You know, it looked like it was going to get out from under Notre Dame there for a while, and they showed me a lot in that loss, which is something I rarely say. But
yeah, I don't know that it shows. It probably showed more about Notre Dame than it really did about Georgia. Georgia's under Fromm's regime, it's kind of been lackluster at best. They should be competing with the Alabamas of the world. They haven't. They should be competing with the Clemsons of the world. They really haven't. You've had some elite level running backs come out to pan out to really nothing. I mean, as far as getting you over that hump in a playoff game. Wide receivers have been there. Yeah. I mean, it's even last year with Roquan Smith, or the year before with Roquan Smith. I mean, they have the talent. They just haven't pieced it all together yet.
You kind of feel like, though, that what's Saban's record now against his proteges? He's like
1 billion and 0.
Yeah, he hasn't lost to any of them. But it looks like Kirby Smart may be the guy, though. You know that he has got, but you got to do it.
I think I still feel you've got the quarterback, at least for this year. He's probably gone after this year. I don't know if they have the rest of the talent around him to get it done this year.
Right.
And I would have said that they had better talent last year and would have had better talent the year before. But
tell you where they do have they have the rest of the SEC East, as opposed to having to go against Auburn, Alabama, and LSU.
And
like
we've
the
got a
West.
supermodel on our hands.
Get out.
Skylar's, LSU guys are still doing what they need to do. They're looking good. Skylar,
Yep.
you're still ahead, buddy. You're up one game on me. I'm closing in on you, though. I made up one game, so
I'm just
Well,
sandbagging.
yeah.
I'm back there sandbagging.
Yeah.
I'll make
False
that
sense
one
of
game
security,
look up.
and then I'm going to
Yeah.
come back and win this thing.
well, and we're gonna go into next week's picks early this time around because we do have a crowded house, and we're going to do that. But real quick, we want to talk about crossover sports and crossover radio and the different opportunities and inventory that's on our stations. And we need to talk about what happened last week on crossover sports radio with the Putnam City Pirates. All is not bleak, and I'll get to that in a minute, but Putnam City's been outscored now 157-0 in 3 games. They got beat 50-0 by Putnam North, 35-0 by Sand Springs, and I think I mentioned that Bixby might be a challenge.
Yeah.
72-0.
So next game, I'm bringing the kitchen sink, and we're going to throw it out there.
Their
Because at
next
this
game
point-
is actually an opportunity for a win as they play the mighty Putnam City West Patriots at Putnam
At this
West.
point, there's nothing to lose. You bring everything you've got.
Yeah, it's
Trick
your-
plays,
It's another rival. Might as well
different
bury him if
offense,
you
something.
can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you've got to. You bring out everything.
Yeah. And then SNU, they went down 45-7. They're 0-3. Next up is a home game to take on Southeastern Oklahoma State University, and that's at 1 p.m. Bill, we mentioned Mark Gastineau last time we were talking about East Central. Can you tell me who the most famous Southeastern Oklahoma State University graduate is? Bless you.
Who is it?
I would say
Southeastern?
maybe the most, bless
Bless
you,
you
maybe the most infamous as well
Was
as
it
famous.
Rodman?
Yes,
Yeah.
Dennis Rodman.
Yeah. Did you watch that 30 for 30?
No, I lived it actually.
Oh, yeah.
Skylar's dad and I went to see Dennis Rodman when he was still at Southeastern, and they used to play the Sooner Athletic Conference tournament, and they held it at Southern Nazarene one year. And Rodman looked like a junior in high school playing fourth graders. He averaged over 20 points a game his senior year and 20 rebounds a game.
Yeah, that it's
Yeah.
crazy the life that he has led, and I get the whole different aspect of him, and him, I guess if you want to call it thinking outside the box, is the whole Kim Jong-il stuff and all
He's
that.
an
but
extraordinary guy, Bill.
It's amazing the life as far as when he was in
Yes.
Southeast, having no friends, no real identity, and then him branching out to what he's become now.
Yeah, I mean,
And-
a lot of people call him a cartoon character or whatever,
Yeah.
but the guy's lived the life the way he chose to live it, and good for him.
Yeah, I mean that's all you can ask of somebody. Is he right or wrong? I mean, there's who's to say at
Right.
that point. He's got a different way of looking at stuff, and whether it be right, whether it be wrong, whether all the stuff that he did was right or wrong. I mean, he's famous and a millionaire, so
Yeah,
at
yeah.
this point,
And this
Can't
might be a
argue it.
good poll question. And after this, I just want to mention the Bethany Broncos. We actually have some local good news here. But a good poll question might be: who looks better in a wedding dress, Dennis Rodman or Ricky Williams?
it's
So
debatable at this point.
yeah, I think it probably depends on the design of the
hair color?
dress,
The hair
how long
color?
the train is, whether they're wearing whatever you think. What
Veil?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Some, veil might not be bad for either one of them. And then finally, good news: Bethany Broncos, 4A ranked number 2 team, ripped Kingfisher 40-6. Sam Brandt, who's definitely going to have opportunities at the next level, maybe locally here. Sam accounted for 4 touchdowns, 2 rushing, 2 passing, threw for 173 yards, rushed for 138. Nathan Jones carried it 17 times for 110 yards. And Bethany begins district play this weekend at Blanchard. Blanchard is 1-2. So the Broncos holding up their end of the deal. We just need to get the Pirates and the SNU Crimson Storm to do the same.
Come on, SNU.
Yeah, Skylar's a SNU fan. big time. So when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about the recap of the Oklahoma State-Texas game. We'll talk a little about the Big 12 schedule coming up, and we'll do our picks.
Ooh. It's
You're listening to
my chance.
Crossover Sports
My
Radio
chance to
right
catch
here,
up.
and you'll be able to hear us 4:30 to 6:30 on Fridays, 4:30 to 6:30 on Mondays, and some insane time, I think on Thursday morning early.
Thursday when you're up.
When you're up, what?
Super late at night.
When you're up
or
watching-
morning. Or morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watching the harvest new moon or something, whatever it's called.
There you go. Scott. Full house, full screen.
Yeah, we're good to go. The Four Horsemen, Lance and Dash, Scott and Billy.
Reminding you to grapple that ass.